Yata for the sound of the bell. Mind calm, body at ease, breathing quiet, sentiment benevolent. Dharma friends, sitting still in vital silence, wanting nothing, we practice eco-Buddhism together. The sound of the temple bell booms for all to cease from conflict. May the way of Buddha usher in the dawn of nonviolent global village forever. Here's the after sound of the bell. Thunder of silence, light after Dharma rain. Amoga Varochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jivala Pravartaya
Please stand and join me in chanting the prerequisite. So we first take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha in Sino-Korean, and then in English. So even though you may not know Sino-Korean, please just throw your voice in as best you can. And then you will get to hear the English translation. I go for refuge to the Buddha.
I go for refuge to the Buddha,
And resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment.
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment
And realize the great way.
and realize the great way.
I go for refuge to the Dharma.
I go for refuge to the Dharma,
And resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will penetrate the teaching.
I will penetrate the teachings
And uncover oceans of wisdom.
and uncover oceans of wisdom.
I go for refuge to the Sangha.
I go for refuge to the Sangha,
And resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will seek peace and happiness for the many.
I will seek peace and happiness for the many,
And transform this world into awakened lands unimpeded.
and transform this world into awakened lands unimpeded.
Please return now for another shorter period of meditation. So attending to your posture, making sure that you have a stable base of your lower body, that your spine is in alignment, one vertebrae stacked on top of the other, that your eyes are softly focused, looking down the bridge of your nose. And then take a nice deep breath. Bringing to mind 3 foundation stones. In this moment, in this very moment, nothing to worry about. In this very moment, nothing is lacking. In this very moment, always something to be grateful for. And then enjoy your practice for the next 5 minutes until you hear the ending bell. Please join me in some stretching as an end to our meditation practice. Please sit comfortably. I'll come a little closer if you wish. How's my volume? Huh? Okay, good. So welcome, everybody. It is so nice to be together again after our holiday break. And I hope that all of you were able to spend some quality time, friends and family, and that it was a good little time for you. Um, and I think a few people are still coming back from travels, but most of us are here. So this year, we kind of missed having our New Year's Eve service. That was because Buddha's Enlightenment Day happened to fall at the same time. And so we had an altered schedule. And I was away in Chicago. Haji Sunan was in Buffalo giving Dharma talks to folks in Toronto and so on. But now we're back together. And how many of you, I'm curious, how many of you did New Year's Day resolutions? Any kind of New Year's resolutions? New Year's resolutions? I'm curious how many people did them. Okay. A few, not so many. This is interesting. In Chicago, we did New Year's resolutions on the New Year's Day service. I have some further reflections and follow-up to these resolutions that I want us to engage in today. So I ran across this story, which I think is very interesting, and maybe those of you who did not do resolutions, or even those of us who did, can relate to it. This comes from Sensei Alex Kokuyo, December 28th, 2018. I believe this is an independent Dharma teacher. A Buddhist take on New Year's resolutions. There was an old Buddhist priest who ran a small temple at the top of a hillside. He'd spent several decades chanting, praying, and providing spiritual support to his community. But the time had come for him to retire. Sadly, the priest did not have any children that he could give the temple to. So he put together a small wooden sign and placed it in the form of a withered, crooked tree that was growing outside the gates of the temple. The sign said, "Anyone who can tell me how to fix this tree can have my temple and the land it resides on." Word spread quickly about the sign, and monks came from all over the country to offer advice. Some told the priest that he should cut the tree down. Others suggested the use of wires and ropes to straighten its branches. The old priest listened patiently to each person, and when they were done, he grabbed a frying pan and chased each one from the temple grounds. Many years passed, and it started to seem like no one would be able to answer the priest's koan. Finally, a Buddhist nun appeared at the temple. She'd been traveling for many days, and she needed a place to rest. She knocked on the temple gates, and after a few moments, the priest came out, frying pan in hand. "I'm very tired," the nun said. "May I sleep at your temple tonight?" "No, you can't sleep at my temple tonight," the priest replied. "But you can have my temple and the land it resides on if you can answer one question." "Okay," the nun replied calmly. "What's your question?" The priest pointed at the crooked tree with his frying pan and said, "How do I fix this tree?" Upon hearing this, the nun looked at the tree for a long time. She noticed the trunk was so bent, it ran almost parallel with the ground. She saw the gnarled branches that twisted in strange directions, and the dead leaves that surrounded the tree's base. Eventually, the nun turned to the priest and said, just leave it alone. The tree is fine the way it is. As soon as the nun finished speaking, the old priest smiled broadly and dropped his frying pan. He bowed deeply to the nun and said, follow me. This temple belongs to you. So what do you think is the point of this story? What did you hear in this story? Yes.
Let go of your earthly attachments and accept things as they are. Only with divine love may we reach inner peace.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to repeat that, please.
Absolutely. Let go of your earthly attachments. Accept things as they are, for only with divine love may we reach true inner peace and enlightenment.
And the other.
Acceptance and seeing beauty in the way things are.
The tree was enough as it was.
So I find this interesting that since they rolled it out when people were making New Year's resolutions, and because each of us is kind of this crooked tree, and when we get to the new year, you hear a lot of messages. Welcome to the new year, the new you. Throw out the old, in with the new. All these kinds of things. And I think this may be one reason a lot of us don't make New Year's resolutions, because it can have this sort of rejecting quality to it. So as I was thinking about this, to me, it seems like our task with our growth and transition in the Buddhist tradition, it's more like tending bonsai, making that tree grow beautifully. Or it's maybe more like this principle of wabi sabi. And so I look up and remind myself about wabi sabi and what the main principles of that are. So wabi means recognizing beauty and simplicity. Sabi is concerned with the passage of time, the way that all things grow, age, and decay. There's a beauty in this, hidden beneath the surface. Something we perceive as broken may not be broken. And so in our Buddhist tradition, we like to talk about everyone having this perfect Buddha nature, and it's our job to uncover it. It's not broken, it's there. We just need to uncover it. Principles of wabi sabi. Accept what is, stay in the present moment, appreciate simple, transient stages of life. So, 5 themes. Number 1, ukatamo. I humbly accept with an open heart. So, as we go about our lives, things happen to us, sometimes big things. You lose a job, you get a bad diagnosis, the pipes break in your house, these kinds of things. And so the practice is, I humbly accept this situation with an open heart. Principle number 2, strive for excellence, not perfection, because perfection doesn't exist. Impermanence surrounds us. Impermanence is everywhere. So if you try to reach some kind of fixed state of perfection, you're never going to find it. So the idea is just do the best we can with what we have. Number 3, appreciate the beauty of all things, especially the beauty that lies below the surface and the beauty of things repaired. There's this Japanese and Asian practice called, I don't know if I can pronounce this right, kintsugi. Kintsugi. And an example is a pot breaks and you mend the pot with gold leaf so that you can see that it was broken and the repair makes it more beautiful. So if we think about our lives as a process of kintsugi, because I don't know about you, but it feels like I've fallen down and broken things plenty. And then when it's repaired, it's more beautiful than it was before. Principle number 4, slow and simple. So the best way to observe things is to slow down. In our busy lives, we often have many balls in the air, and it's easy to miss things. If we don't slow down, we don't observe what is going on. Just a very simple example might be chanting practice when we chant Yebel together. So I was trying to do a little bit slower today when we chanted the 3 refuges. Sometimes I don't do it slow, or when I'm doing it slow, my mind is racing everywhere. And all of a sudden I found that I missed a verse or that it just came out wrong. So if I don't slow down, I can't observe and engage deeply. Also, the simple piece of this, that was a slow piece. The simple piece is instead of asking, what can I add? Ask, what can I give up or let go of? Very important. Sometimes when you make New Year's resolutions, you say something like, I'm going to add 2 days a week at the gym. Maybe instead of saying, when I go to the gym, I'm going to do the exercise because it makes me feel good, not because I crammed it into my schedule. So slow and simple, many things that we can let go of in our lives to make it more simple. Just look at the options that you have around. Are there some that you would like to share or give away? And principle number 5, be content exactly where you are with all that you already have. So this is cultivating equanimity. So yes, suffering is one of the basic facts of life. Yes, it exists. But how can we work with suffering and exist with suffering in a way that is more equanimous, more calm, more accepting? Back to this word, acceptance. So given these little principles of wabi-sabi, and also thinking about cultivating bonsai. I want to spend a little time engaging in, I guess there are types of New Year's reflections, but it's really more cultivating kinds of questions. So I'm going to ask our greeters now to pass around a few pieces of paper. They're in the baskets already, not the Great Compassion Dinner. Yeah, okay. So take a pencil, and we're going to have 5 questions. So if you write small, you can take 1 piece of paper. If you write large, maybe consider taking a couple pieces of paper. So as we do these reflections, we're also going to incorporate a little bit of chanting. Does everybody know Ma'un chanting? Most people? Let's do it together one time through, a couple times through, so those who are unfamiliar can pick it up. So it goes like this. Ma'un, Ma'un, Ma'un. 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 Good, I think we all have it. So I will offer a reflection question, and then we'll do a few minutes of writing when I start the Ma'un chanting. Bring your time to a close, and we'll move on to another question. So in the spirit of bonsai cultivation in Wabi Sabi, question number 1, what am I grateful for? Ma, Continuing in the spirit of gratitude, what do I need to humbly accept? These may be things that we're not so fond of about ourselves. Next question. What is one way that I can slow down? Question 4. What is one thing I can simplify? Question 5. What Buddhist practices might I use to cultivate equanimity? This is just a flavor of reflection. And I know you may not have had as much time as you wanted with each question. I would like to ask that sometime this week you share your thoughts with someone else, maybe engage in some reflection on these ways that we can continue to cultivate ourselves in the coming year. So I wanted to sort of bring this practice to a close by turning to Doan Sunam's New Year's message to us, because Doan Sunam now is reminding us of the great perfection of Buddha nature that exists in all of us. This is a collection of some of his favorite verses from great Zen masters. And I think after each one, we'll just pause and ring the bell. In the Mirror of Zen by Grand Master Sosam, we read, "Here from the very beginning, there's this one thing, constantly lucid and mysterious. It has never been born, and it has never died. It cannot be named or depicted. What is this one thing?" The ancients said, before the Buddhas of old were born, there was this one thing, lucid and eternal. So how could Mahakashyapa have transmitted it? Even Shakyamuni did not know it. This passage tells us that Buddha nature has no beginning nor has end. And as we constantly are reminded, our true essential being is Buddha. This implies that there is something infinite in us, luminous, without beginning, without end. Something timeless, not subject to conditions, not subject to suffering. In the Sutra of Huineng, we read, when you activate the mind dwelling on forms, it's like clouds covering the sky. When you activate the mind without dwelling on forms, it is like the sky without clouds, sun and moon always shining. Activating the mind dwelling on form is errant thought. Activating the mind without dwelling on form is true wisdom. When errant thoughts arise, there is darkness. When true wisdom shines, there is light. In the light, afflictions do not occur. In the dark, objects of the six senses insistently arise. How grateful we must be to Shakyamuni Buddha. We celebrated in his enlightenment with an all-night sitting. He taught us a path towards clarity, a way out of confusion and suffering. He didn't promise us anything. Compassionately, he tirelessly reminded us that we have all the ingredients we need to realize our Buddha nature. Timeless 2023 is here. Every day is a wonderful day. Happy New Year from Dawn Sunim. Let's say together the four great vows, and then we'll have some announcements. All beings, one body.
All beings, one body.
I vow to liberate.
I vow to liberate.
Blind passions, one root.
Blind passions, one root.
I vow to terminate.
I vow to terminate.
Dharma gates, one mind.
Dharma gates, one mind.
I vow to penetrate.
I vow to penetrate.
The great way of Buddha.
The great way of Buddha.
I vow to realize.
I vow to realize.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Mama.
Welcome. If you have any questions, you can ask any of us wearing the gray, and we will do our best to answer your questions. You can also pick up a copy of our 2022-2023 winter schedule. It's on the table in the entrance hall, and it looks like this. So we have flyers of that. And there's also a sign-up sheet if you're interested in receiving our weekly email bulletin. So if you're not already receiving it and you'd like to do that, you can put your name and email address there. A few things on our schedule that we'd like to point out. Our yoga classes are beginning again, the next round of yoga classes. So they run on Tuesday evenings from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. And so this new round will be starting up this Tuesday, January 10th.
Mama usually attends this class. Could you give a brief description? It's a very good class.
It is a wonderful class I've been attending for years. The class is done in the Shivananda tradition. It is a very meditative, as you might expect, hour and a half. It is not a put on the fancy yoga clothes and sweat hard. It's a work hard and practice hard as you are. It's a beautiful class, and I encourage you to come.
Thank you. We also offer introductory meditation courses from time to time, and they run on 5 consecutive Thursday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And this Thursday is the beginning of another 5-week session. So there's a sign-up sheet on the table if you're interested in either the yoga classes or the introductory meditation classes. And we're also going to offer the introductory meditation as one overnight session instead of 5 consecutive Thursdays. So if that works out better with your schedule, you may choose to do that. It's going to be January 20th to 21st. It'll go from the evening on Friday until noon on Saturday. And we do let you sleep during that time. We have a 1-day retreat coming up if you'd like to try out a retreat. It's going to be on Saturday, February 25th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the retreat consists of periods of sitting meditation, walking meditation, work practice, vegetarian lunch. So it's a nice way to deepen your practice a little bit more. So consider that also. And then groups meeting today, Recovery Dharma.
We will be meeting at noon after this. We will be meeting at noon after this service at the old Sandra Hall, the big yellow house next door. And we also do a Zoom Recovery Dharma meeting Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. using the same link as for today's meeting.
Thank you, Olja. Any other groups meeting today or other announcements? Okay. The temple is supported by your kind donations of time and money. There's a fishbowl in the entrance hall for monetary donations. And if you've been coming here for a little while, you might wish to donate your time by volunteering once a month to be a greeter for this service. So each service has 2 greeters, and Osogil and I are the greeters today. And they stand at the front door and help to orient new people. So each of us can remember what it was like coming here for the first time, not really knowing what to expect. And it's good to have somebody there at the door who can tell you what to expect. And it's nice to see a smile. And if you had asked me a few years ago whether you could tell whether or not somebody was smiling if they're wearing a mask, I would have said no. But now I know that you can. And so you might consider being a greeter. Talk to any of us wearing the gray if you're interested in doing that. Thank you.
Okay, so let's all stand and we'll continue with 3 formal bows. So as we exit, if you could take your pencil and drop it in the pencil box. Also, we want to keep the mats and cushions that are touching the carpet, but the rest can be put away. So please stack them neatly in the far corner by that marble table. Those were on that side, and then those on this side, stack them on the stage. And as you stack them, take away the small ones from the bottom, put them aside, put the large ones, and then the small ones. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So the morning was but it was perfectly fine. Good morning.